Hey there, and welcome into Taylor Kitchen. Today we're going to make a super simple lemon olive oil cake. We're going to use Caroline Perry's recipe from my local electric membership corporation. They send out these little newsletters and there's always recipes featured in them. So today we're going to use a recipe from that publication, but I've altered it slightly as I want to do. So it starts very simply with a couple eggs that I'm cracking in a bowl. Get these beautiful blue eggs that I got from Costco, and the yolks are just gorgeously yellow-orange, so pretty. I'm gonna just give those a whisk. And I love cakes like this because you're gonna make them in a bowl like this. Very frequently, my grandmother and my mom would make simple cakes like this. And this reminds me of a very Italian recipe with the olive oil and the lemon. You can use orange if you want to, but that's a good beating on those eggs, and then I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of sugar. Now the original recipe calls for twice that amount of sugar, and you know me, I'm always cutting down on the sugar, so I think the 1/3 cup will be sufficient. And I'm going to serve it with a beautiful blueberry compote, so that will add some additional natural sweetness to it. And then the original recipe calls for Greek yogurt. You can use that if you want to. I have ricotta because I figured more Italian. So I'm going to mix in that ricotta. And that will also add a bit of sweetness because whole milk ricotta has a beautifully sweet flavor to it. And already it's just pale, golden, and lovely. My oven is ready. And then 2/3 cup of olive oil going in. This is good extra virgin olive oil. If you don't want that strong olive oil taste, then you can use a lighter olive oil, but I love the strong grassy notes of a really good olive oil. You can even make it super neutral. Use avocado oil if you want to. Then it won't be olive oil cake, but hey, it's your cake. That's very pretty. Now I'm going to add the juice and the zest of a lemon, and this is a pretty big lemon, so I want it super lemony. Just use my grater zester and get as much of the zest as I can off of this lemon, but not the pith. The pith is the white part underneath, and that's bitter. You don't want that. My face even scrunched when I thought of it. Bitter. And so much flavor in the zest of a lemon. So much. I almost forgot my baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Can't forget those. Give it another mix. Then the lemon juice going in. Now I am going to attempt, I don't think these are seedless lemons, but I'm going to attempt to just squeeze it through my fingers. That way I catch any of the little seeds that might go in. You smell the lemony goodness in here. I give that a nice mix, and then goes in the flour. This is 1.5 cup of flour, all-purpose, and I just want to gradually whisk it in to try to avoid the lumps. See how simple this cake is? You can whip this up on a weeknight. Then I'm going to fold and whisk the flour in. I don't want to overbeat it, because if you overbeat it, you'll have a tough cake. Nice and smooth. You see how smooth and glossy that batter is? That's lovely. Then we just need to put this into our prepared pan. Now I've oiled this pan with olive oil, of course, but I've also put a little bit of parchment paper at the bottom to ensure that I can flip this cake out. Make sure nothing sticks. Nothing's sadder than putting a little effort into a homemade cake and then have it stick in the pan. But nevertheless, if it does, you can doctor the top up with whipped cream and fruits, and nobody will know but you. And you don't have to tell them. And then a trick that my mom taught me before baking, she's a professional baker. Tap it to ensure the air bubbles come to the surface and pop, so they don't have big air bubbles inside your cake batter. And so this is going to bake in my 350 oven for 30 to 35 minutes. Hey there, if you haven't yet, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications to our YouTube channel. Click that bell icon below to make sure you get all the latest from us. And give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. It really helps out our channel and we so appreciate you for that. Also check out tkfoodie.com. Lots more content there and on all our social media channels. Sign up at tkfoodie.com to get more. Out of the oven, I let it cool just a bit. It's still pretty warm, but we're going to attempt to turn it over into my palm, peel off the back of that paper, and then place it on this cake stand. Wish me luck. Perfect. Oh, and the parchment stayed right in there. That is awesome. Okay. That is a beautiful, and you can smell the lemon in it. It smells glorious. Take out a little sliver of this and enjoy it while it's still warm. Okay. Ooh. Look, still steamy, light, fluffy, gorgeously aromatic. Transfer it to a little plate here. And then you want to give it a good dusting of powdered sugar. That's beautiful. That is so pretty. And my thought was to serve a delightful blueberry compote over this. So I'm just going to put on a little bit. These are wild blueberries, so they're very tiny, if you know wild blueberries. Oh, and that just adds to the color. That is so pretty. Now we'll give it a taste. A few blueberries in there. This is wonderful. It's so light, so tender. Can taste all that lemon, all the lemon love that I put in there, and that olive oil, just a hint of olive oil. It's a slightly grassy note, but not overwhelmingly so. And this is just absolutely delicious. And so simple. I think it took me less than 5 minutes to put together, 30 minutes in my oven. You can do this any old time, and it's so impressive. I'm going to serve this to lunch guests today, so I think we will all thoroughly enjoy it. Check out this easy recipe. It's on tkfoodie.com. I don't think it'll pick up the grass cutting as much since I have a microphone. Thank you, babe.